Today, we're taking a closer look at the growth of Indian communities across New Zealand. But this isn't really a story about population stats. It's a deeper story about how communities put down roots and how culture finds a home, sometimes in pretty unexpected places.
Right. Let's get to the heart of this. We're not just talking about migration numbers here. We're talking about settlement, about families building lives, creating communities, and really enriching the cultural fabric of the whole country for the long haul.
So, first up, let's get a sense of the scale. Let's see where these communities are actually putting down roots across the country.
Now you can see here that Auckland is, of course, the biggest hub, but that's not the whole story, not by a long shot. We're seeing this really steady, established growth in regional cities like Hamilton, and communities are taking shape right across the country, from top to bottom. It's a truly nationwide presence.
To really get what's going on nationally, you've got to start with the main hub, Auckland. Auckland is, the long-established heartland. It's got the country's largest Indian population, especially in areas like Papatoetoe and Sandringham. But what's absolutely crucial here is its diversity. It's a massive hub for a huge range of different regional Indian cultures, languages, and food. It really is the main center for the big festivals, for business, and often the first stop for new migrants.
But this is where it gets really interesting. The story that's emerging outside of Auckland. The information shows a new and really significant trend that tells us a lot about the future.
Okay, let's take Hamilton as an example. It's quietly becoming a key regional cultural center, and the story here isn't about size, it's about depth. We're seeing language schools run by the community, destination restaurants, and a really clear pattern of families settling down. This isn't just spillover from Auckland. This is a community building its own unique identity from the ground up.
So you have to ask, right? Why is this shift happening? What's pulling families and individuals to set up their lives in regional New Zealand?
Well, it really boils down to a few key drivers. And the decision is often a really practical one, based on things that matter when you're putting down long-term roots. Better housing affordability, good schools, and just a different kind of lifestyle. Those are the big forces pulling settlement patterns out into the regions.
Okay, so if people are moving to the regions, how do they actually build and maintain their culture? Well, there are several key cultural anchors that are absolutely vital to this whole process.
And first up, of course, is food. It's so much more than just a meal, isn't it? In regional towns, a family-run Indian restaurant or even a simple highway-side eatery becomes a vital social hub. It's a taste of home, a place to connect, and a real cultural touchstone for families who might otherwise feel a bit isolated.
Then you've got education, and this is a really big one. We're seeing a rise in community-run schools teaching languages like Hindi and Urdu, as well as history and culture. This is a powerful sign of long-term thinking, of passing traditions down to the next generation. And what's really cool is that these schools are also attracting learners from outside the Indian community, which helps build wider understanding.
And then, holding it all together, you have faith and festivals. These are a fundamental connection. Shared celebrations, religious events, they are the bedrock of community identity. They provide a rhythm to the year, a deep connection, and that social glue that's essential for any community to really thrive.
So here's the crucial point. When you put all those anchors together, the food, the language classes, the shared celebrations, they paint a very clear picture. This is a definite shift away from just temporary migration and towards deep, permanent, family-focused settlement. It's about building foundations for communities that are going to last.
So, what's the takeaway here? What does this all mean in the bigger picture? Well, this trend is actually a very familiar New Zealand story, just with new faces and new flavors.
What we're looking at is this gradual community-led integration. It's happening organically, enriching our cultural diversity without putting too much pressure on any one area. This pattern, it fits perfectly with New Zealand's multicultural identity, and it really highlights the growing role our regional towns and cities play in shaping the country's future.
And that leaves us all with a pretty big question to think about. As our communities, especially in the regions, keep growing and becoming more diverse, it really invites all of us to think about, what does it even mean to be a Kiwi community in this day and age?
This analysis was based on reporting from WebFit News. If you want to dive deeper into the data and the stories from these communities, you can head over to their website. Thanks for tuning in.